Hi, this is Mrs. Marita. Welcome to section 2.4, Parallel and Perpendicular Lines.
Hello everyone. We'll go ahead and be on page 46 of our blue workbook here. We're going to be on 2-4, Parallel and Perpendicular Lines. Okay. What I have written out here is the slope-intercept form of the line already that we have learned up to this point. Okay, so y equals mx plus b. Okay, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. Okay. So in this question it says write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form, okay, which I just wrote over here, that passes through the point -3, 5 and is parallel to y equals -2/3 x. Okay, so here's some things that we need to know. Parallel lines have the same slope. Okay, parallel lines have the same slope m. Okay, and so using that information, okay, it says that is parallel to y equals -2/3 x. So which means if y equals -2/3 x is the line that we want to be parallel to, our new line will be y equals -2/3 x plus the unknown y-intercept of b. Okay, but it says it has to pass through the point -3, 5. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write -3, 5 over here, and I don't know what my y-intercept is. That's the only thing I need to find out. Well, how can I find that out? Well, I can go ahead and use my x and y to plug it into this slope-intercept form to solve for b. Okay, so my y will be 5 equals -2/3 times -3/1 plus b. Okay, and so when you solve this out, that becomes 5 equals 2 plus b. You subtract 2 on both sides. b is equal to 3. So I know my slope. Y is equal to -2/3 x, because that becomes this, or in terms of the -2/3 comes from the same slope, plus we now know our b value is going to be 3. And there's the equation of the line that is parallel to -2/3x, and it goes through this point. And clearly it goes through the point as we plugged it back in. And so here is our final answer. Y equals -2/3 x plus 3. I solved for b, and then I plugged it in there. So, example 2, it says, why does it make sense that the slope of perpendicular lines have opposite lines? We're going to skip this one, but I will tell you this. Perpendicular lines, which is also represented as that, perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. Okay, so if you want to write that down, that would be a good idea, but perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. Okay, so let's go to example 3 as a example. Okay, in example 3, it says, write the equation of the line that passes through this point, 4, 5, and is perpendicular to this graph right here, y equals 2x minus 3. So if it's y equals 2x minus 3, the slope of my perpendicular line would have to be the opposite reciprocal of 2. Okay, what is the opposite reciprocal of 2? Well, it's going to be negative, and the reciprocal of 2 is 1/2. So that's how we go from there to there. Okay, and so now your line is y equals -1/2 x plus b, and my point that they want to go through is 4, 5. That's my x and y here. And I'm going to be able to plug that in. So I'm going to plug that in. 5 equals -1/2 times 4/1 plus b. Cross cancel 5 is equal to -2 plus b. You add 2 to both sides. 7 is equal to b. So then I use my y equals negative 1/2 x plus 7, and there's your final answer. It's perpendicular to this line, okay, and it goes through 4, 5, and there's going to be my answer right there. Okay, so then let's go to example 4 now. Okay. Example 4 says, are the graphs of the equations parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Okay, so once again, as a reminder, parallel lines, same slope. Perpendicular lines, opposite reciprocal slopes. Okay, so we have the two here, parallel lines, perpendicular lines. Okay, and then we have this here. So if your m is 2 here, but then m is 1/2 here, well, they're not the same, so it's not parallel. It's not parallel. Is it perpendicular? Well, it is a reciprocal, but it is not opposite, so it's not. So it's neither. Okay, it's not the opposite. They're both positive, so that would not make it perpendicular. Okay, it's not parallel, it's not perpendicular, it's neither here. Okay. However, in question B, okay, I have a slope of -5 here, but this one, I don't know what my slope is yet. So what we need to do is we need to figure out what the slope is. Okay, so we need to take 25x plus 5y is equal to 1. I'm going to subtract 25x on both sides. I'm going to isolate y. I'm going to divide 5 on both sides. Y is equal to -5x plus 1/5. So then my slope for this line is -5. If they're the same slope, that means that these two lines will be parallel. Okay, -5 and -5, that means it's going to be parallel.
That's it for section 2.4. Make sure you copy down all of your notes and bring your questions to class.